Hey guys, welcome back to another video of mine. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome. I'm back with another Let's Talk About It. If you watched my first Let's Talk About It where what was I doing? Oh, I was ranting about rainy season in Sierra Leone. If you watched that, thank you very much. In this episode, we are going to talk about solo travel. So I recently went to Ghana for the Chali Water Festival. Chali Water Festival is a street art festival that happens every year, the last 2 weeks of August. I had a really good time. I was apprehensive at first because I went by myself. I went for 7 days. And yeah, this was my first experience doing solo travel. And it really wasn't too bad. I think everybody should do solo travel at least once in their life. So recently I put on Instagram, I said, if anyone had any questions on solo travel, let me know and I'll try and answer them in this video, like from my perspective. But before I answer your questions, I'll tell you a bit more about my experience of solo travel, the pros and cons of solo travel, and some tips from moi. So, my experience of solo travel, like I said, this was my first time doing it. My trip to Ghana, my most recent trip to Ghana, and it wasn't too bad. It really wasn't too bad. Like, Ghanaian people, very friendly. Um, Met other people who were traveling by themselves as well. I think that's the best way to do it. If you are looking to travel by yourself, go to a public event and you're guaranteed to probably meet people who have gone on the same journey as you. They've come just for the festival or they've come by themselves. So you won't be alone for too long. That's what I always say, or I always try and think of. Like, I can't be the only person who's by myself, right? Or am I the only widow who does that? But yeah, so that was my first time. I think I would do it again. However, that is one of the cons of traveling by yourself. Like, you don't get to share the experience with anybody. I wrote a few cons, like pros and cons down. Let me go through them. So that is one of them, that you don't share the experience with anybody. Well, you share it with people, but you know what I mean. You don't share it with anybody you know. Um, no one to take your pics. That's a big one. Well, you have people to take your pictures, but you know, strangers. So if you're not a confident person or somebody who wouldn't go up to a stranger and ask them to take your picture, yeah, then it'll be bad for you. Another con that I wrote is that you're unable to rely on someone else for information. I guess this is more of a issue with group travel. Not an issue per se, but more like, you know, when you travel in a group, you'd put an itinerary together or have it planned what you're doing every day. It's down to you when you travel by yourself, but I guess that's up to you to then look at that as a pro or a con. Um, that is actually a good thing. Like, as a positive, as a pro, is that you're flexible. You're in control of your time, and I find when I travel by myself, I get a lot of more things done. So yeah, there are my pros and cons. A tip I would say for traveling by yourself. Sorry, I'm on my balcony and the neighbor's dogs are having an argument. But yeah, what was I saying? A tip that I would say for traveling by yourself, solo travel, is to go for a public event. You're bound to meet new people. Another tip is to always let people know what you're doing. At least let two people know your schedule, what you're up to, just for safety. Oh boy. Oh boy. I knew this would happen, but I'm going to persevere and go through it. So, yeah, they're my tips. Let me get to the questions now. So, your questions, one of the questions I got is. Okay, I should call this Yasmin featuring the dogs. But anyway, so the questions that I have are, how do you pick inspiration for where you are going to travel to next? I think I just answered it. So, a public event. I think that's a good way to choose how to choose the country you want to go to. You should put in the comments how you choose how. Why do I keep saying how? How you choose where you're going to travel to. Where's the word I was supposed to say? Okay. Another question is: are you anxious or excited before you go? Um, Usually I'm excited. I enjoy traveling, so I'm excited. The only time I'd be anxious is if I don't know the language, if it's a really like foreign language. Yeah, that I just have no idea. Um, yeah, that's the only time I think I'd be anxious. Another question is, do you hook up during solo travel? That depends how you define hookup. Hookup culture. Um, but no, I haven't. I haven't. But I've only done solo travel once. Um, Another question. Often, when you get to your destination, when it doesn't go to plan, how do you pivot? That's a good question. Um, how do I pivot? Again, I don't like. I think if you travel by yourself, it's easy to be flexible. So, for example, when I was in Ghana, I only traveled. What am I talking about? Traveled. I only planned some days, and then other days was flexible. So, yeah, it's not really a bad thing if you're by yourself. I think it's more stressful if it's like a big group of you and things don't go to plan. That's when it's a bit more like more pressure. But when you're by yourself, like, if things don't go to plan, you find something else to do. No stress, no wahala. But yeah, it's just a quick video, guys. I think I've touched on everything that I wanted to touch on. The pros, the cons, my tips, my experience, your questions. I hope I answered them. Yeah, these dogs are annoying me, so I'm gonna go now. Okay, until next time, guys, thank you for listening, and please share your own experience in the comments of solo travel. Until next time, guys, bye.